Hello and welcome to What's in the Box. My name is Sophie Clarke and I'm here at Wessex Archaeology's head office, where I will be speaking to our in-house specialists about the artefacts they find most intriguing. On today's episode, I am joined by a somewhat familiar face, our residential fieldwork archaeologist, Phil Harding. Hi, Phil.
Hello. Right.
I am surprised by the size of this box. I thought we were going to be looking at flint today.
Big box for very big flint, Sophie.
Oh my goodness, really? Okay.
Now then. Grab the box.
I will. Okay, let's
Now.
go.
Now do you see why I needed a big box?
What is this?
Isn't that a beast? What you're looking at there is probably, no, unquestionably, the largest piece of worked flint that's ever been found in Wiltshire. Probably in the south of England, according to where you draw the line on the south of England. And the nice thing is, I found it.
Did you?
Yep.
Where did you find it?
Well, it's found at a place called West Kennet. And West Kennet is just a little bit further south than Avebury. Down in the valley where the River Kennet flows through, there are a series of late Neolithic timber, we call them palisaded enclosures. They were timber structures put together by very closely fitting timber posts. And several years ago, they decided that they would stop ploughing the field. There's nothing to see in the field, but they stopped ploughing it. But before they went down to permanent pasture, we'd do some field walking.
Okay.
And I walked across, putting in a grid, and I got to the fence line and I put a cane in and looked over the fence and I saw that. It's a whopper, isn't it? And I think I can explain why it was found in the hedge. I reckon that was lying in the ground, and he come along with a tractor and he dinked that off with a plough.
Right.
And of course, that is so big, it probably threw the plough out of the furrow or something like that, dislocated it. I suspect the ploughman said something in the Anglo-Saxon, got down off his tractor and picked it up and hefted it into the nearest hedge. But because he's actually been able to remove that big lump of flint, it gives me the chance to just wonder at the quality of the raw material.
Yes.
And the story gets better because flint of that size and that quality does not occur in the Avebury area.
So where's this come from then?
Exactly. It must have been brought in. And I was talking quite casually to a good mate of mine lives in East Anglia, who's a very, very good flint knapper. And I explained to him that I'd got this wonderful tea cosy type core.
Okay.
And he said, we got loads of those up here. I said, you're having a laugh. He said, have you ever seen that one from Felsham? It's a place called Felsham. And he reminded me of this whacking great core that used to be in Bury St Edmunds Museum. And this one here, mine, you'll know
Yours.
Mine is about 16 kilos in weight.
Okay.
The Felsham one is 27 kilos. But it is exactly the same. It's got this tea cosy shape with this beautiful flaking on all the way round. And I reckon that this one was made in East Anglia, and the Felsham one's not the only one. There's 2 or 3 others exactly the same as this. The quality of the flint is very, very East Anglian. And I reckon that this object was made in Norfolk or somewhere like that in East Anglia.
Right, okay.
and traded down to the Avebury area, and who knows, it might have been set up in a place like that. And well, let's be honest, you can't look at that without saying, my goodness.
It's impressive. It is impressive.
It's a beast, isn't it?
It
It's
is,
an absolute
absolutely.
beast.
It's ginormous. Okay, so how old do you think this is likely to be?
I reckon it's probably about the same date as the palisaded enclosures. Those palisaded enclosures were probably sort of ritual ceremonial sites, so you might expect to get ritual ceremonial objects with it. And I would reckon that if the palisaded enclosures are about, let's say, 2,500 BC, I reckon that core would fit in the late Neolithic, maybe about 2,500 BC.
Wow.
So you've got Avebury and Silbury Hill and the palisaded enclosures. There's a whole load of things going on around there at the time. And you've also, by looks of it, got flint. Now, whether or not that was made in East Anglia and moved in one hit to Wiltshire, or whether a person in East Anglia moved it 2 miles down the road and gave it to somebody else, and he then moved it on and moved it on, and it moved on and gradually ended up, I don't know.
Okay.
But I reckon that object came from East Anglia.
So do you think that this could have ever originally started off as a core, so they would have ever used it to make tools from, or do you think this is just for decorative?
I think it's for symbolic purposes. In my opinion, it is not a core as we would accept the definition of a core. I don't think that they were making flint tools out of this. They might have made some. If we turn it round, we look at that flake scar there, you could possibly make, let's say, a flint knife out of that. Right. But that is far too big for a scraper, it's far too big for an arrowhead, it's far too big for most of the flint tools. Right. What they've done, you can see, you can see the bits of the outside rind here, the cortex. They've basically taken off the top. And when I talked about this object, because I took it up to East Anglia, and my mate said to me, God, he said, that's a nice piece of flint. He said, up here in East Anglia, they call them ringers.
Ringers? Because
when you tap them, they ring like a bell.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And, wow.
And that's a sign of a good quality piece of flint.
There's a much darker part of the flint here, and the rest of it's quite a light grey. What causes that? When
that was originally made, it would have been black like that.
Ah, right,
this
okay.
Blue is what we call the patina. It's what as a result of the surface of the flint just drying out, and it's the sort of typical colour that you would expect to see in a chalky environment. If it's an alkaline chalky environment, then the flint goes a sort of bluey white like that. When it's fresh, so they wouldn't have seen a bluey white object, they'd have seen a black one.
This would be much blacker. Thank you so much, Phil, for bringing this in. That's absolutely incredible. I love it. It's an amazing piece of flint work. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about flint cores, please follow the link in the description. You can also follow us on our social media channels. And until next time, bye!